All right, let's talk about sainthood. I mean, for most of us, that word just brings up these images of, ancient, totally flawless figures in stained glass windows, right? But what if that's only half the story? What if sainthood is actually something much more ordinary and a whole lot closer than we think?
So seriously, when you hear the word saint, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it somebody from a dusty old history book? Maybe a marble statue? Well, today we're going to challenge that exact image.
Okay, let's kick things off with this amazing idea from St. Clare. It's not about trying to be a perfect copy of someone else. No, it's about letting the people and the ideals we really admire change us, from the inside out. And honestly, this idea is the key to everything we're diving into today.
So let's get back to that image in our heads. For a lot of us, it probably looks something like this, right? We think of these spiritual superheroes. People who seem completely untouched by the daily grind of, paying bills, sitting in traffic, or spilling coffee on your shirt. They're famous for these huge, historic gestures, not the quiet, everyday struggles that we all deal with.
And look, while those stories are absolutely inspiring, that's kind of where the problem starts. When we put saints up on this pedestal as these perfect, otherworldly figures, it can make us feel like we're not even playing the same game. It's so easy to just think, yeah, that's great for them, but that's not for me. But what if that picture we all have in our minds is just one little piece of the puzzle? What if the real story, the actual definition of a saint, is way, way closer to home?
So the material we're looking at today suggests something pretty profound. It's this. Saints aren't just these historical figures locked away in the past. They're actually all around us. They're living ordinary lives, but in often extraordinary ways. I mean, think about it. Maybe it's that colleague you have, the one who always gives credit where it's due, who actually listens with genuine interest, or who stays late to help out a teammate when it would be so much easier to just pack up and go home, That right there, that's a form of sainthood in action.
Or, hey, what about your neighbor? The one who organizes the block party not because they want a pat on the back, but because they just truly believe in the power of bringing people together. That quiet, consistent effort, that's another kind of sainthood. And this is where it gets really interesting. Because that potential for that same kind of integrity, that same love and service, it's not just out there in other people, it's in you too. This really lays it out perfectly, doesn't it? We're moving away from the myth, this idea of a flawless, distant, historical figure, and toward the reality, an ordinary, imperfect, real person. It completely reframes sainthood, not as some impossible standard, but as a possible path for all of us.
Now let's be real. This path, it isn't always comfortable. In fact, it almost never is. A lot of the time, it means choosing the harder rights over the easier wrong. And that means you've got to step outside of your comfort zone.
So what does a saint actually look like in our world today? Well, it's not somebody who's perfect, not at all. It's just someone who is trying, day in and day out, to live a life of love and service. Someone whose actions are guided by a purpose that's bigger than just themselves.
And yeah, this journey can be a painful process. It's kind of like a seed, It has to completely break open for it to grow. It means letting go of our ego, letting go of our old habits and our fears, all to make room for something new to take root.
Look, there's no secret formula here. The path is really built on three core things. First, humility. Consistently putting a higher purpose before our own will. Second, compassion and service. Being willing to really know what the poor and the brokenhearted are going through. And third, courage. A heart that's willing to be broken by the world's brokenness and then is willing to actually act.
Okay, now here's a really powerful idea to chew on. What if this potential for sainthood isn't something you have to earn from scratch? What if it's already a part of who you are, just waiting to be unlocked?
The Apostle Paul actually framed it this way. This isn't just some big, lofty aspiration you have to strive for. It's an inheritance. It's a vocation. It's a calling that's already part of your nature.
Paul's words here are amazing. He says we were marked with the seal of the promised Holy Spirit. It suggests this whole potential is already sealed inside of us. It's like a pledge, a down payment, a promise of what's to come. It shows that the capacity for this kind of extraordinary life is already yours.
And really, Paul's prayer is for all of us. It's that the eyes of your heart might be enlightened, so you can know the hope that you've been called to. It's about learning to see the world not just with our eyes, but with our hearts. It's about truly understanding the hope we're called to and recognizing the incredible power that's already at work inside of us.
So, let's bring this all home.
What does all of this mean for us right here, right now? Well, it means that this is an extraordinary call, for sure, but it's for ordinary people.
I mean, here's the bottom line. Holiness isn't just for a select few. It's possible for us. The saints we admire, they weren't superhuman. They were doctors, teachers, parents, and friends, people just like you and me who simply said yes to the extraordinary gift they were offered.
And you know what? That's how it spreads. Their light has the potential to catch fire in us, and our light, in turn, has the potential to catch fire in others. It's like a chain reaction, a ripple effect of hope in a world that can sometimes feel pretty dark.
So we're going to leave you with this to think about. In what ways are you being called into your own sainthood, right now, today? Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about listening to that quiet, inner voice that's calling you toward a life of deeper love, more courage, and real service. The only question is, how will you answer?